Hey everybody,
Are we live?
I'm Michael from Team Epic Reads.
Hey, and I'm Valerie from Team Epic Reads, and today we have with us Alexandra from Twirling Pages, Mika from Mika August, Emma from Emma Books, and Michelle from Berry Book Pages. Hey, and I'm Valerie from Team Epic Reads, and today we have with us Alexandra from Twirling Pages, Mika from Mika August, Emma. Do we also hear myself Michelle from Berry Book Pages? Hey, and I'm Valerie from Team Epic Reads, and today we have with us Alexandra from Twirling Pages, Mika from Mika August, Emma.
Where is that coming from?
Today we have with us Alexandra.
Technical difficulty.
Today we have with us Alexandra.
Technical difficulty.
Okay, so we're gonna keep going. Not sure what happened there, but so yeah, today we have an ARC party, and basically we're going to introduce some of the ARCs that we have from the fall season. And today we have all the influencers with us, and they will basically they will present every single book that we have going on, and you have a chance to enter a giveaway at the end of this live. If you see, there's a link in the bottom of the description box. And today, we have a special guest at the end of the live, so remember, stay tuned for the special guest author. And then today, we will start with Alexandra, who will be presenting the first ARC.
Hi everyone, I'm really excited to be sharing the first book, which is The Other Side of the Sky by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. This is a YA sci-fi fantasy, and the story follows Prince North, who lives in the city in the skies, and Nim, who is the goddess of the surface. So even from that brief description, you can probably guess that it's a star-crossed love, and there's lots of magic. And my favorite part of the book was definitely the atmosphere and the world building. It's really beautiful and whimsical and magical, just like the cover, because look at the cover. It's like a work of art. And I definitely recommend it if you enjoyed Laini Taylor's Strange the Dreamer or any kind of sci-fi fantasy. It comes out on September 8th. And yeah.
Thank you, Alex. And for anyone who wants to enter to win the prize packages of the books we're talking about today, you can hashtag sweepstakes entry below and tell us what you're most excited to read. And it's open to US recipients only. So we're gonna remind you throughout the chat so you can talk about the other books. And then the next person that I am going to have talk about a book is Mika.
Hi guys, so I'm Mika, and the book I'm going to be presenting is Early Departures by Justin A. Reynolds. Now, this basically follows Jamal, who is given a second chance to make amends with his best friend Q after Q is brought back to life. However, Q actually doesn't know that he's died and that he has very limited time left to live. So Jamal really struggles with, being able to make amends with him, but not being able to tell him the truth, all while simultaneously trying to basically fix their friendship. So there's a quote in the back that I really love, and it says, "Early departures is like they both die at the end, except that death is a beginning, and the end is a story of friendship, grief, family, and love." So I definitely think this would be perfect for readers like me who really value friendship and family and just anything if you really love a good hard-hitting contemporary. So this comes out September 20th of this year.
Thank you, Mika. So for just a reminder, for a chance to win a prize pack for all the books we're talking about, remember to comment below with hashtag sweepstakes entry and tell us which one you're most excited about. You can see the rules in a link below. And next I want to introduce Emma, who will be talking about our next book.
Hi, everyone. Super excited to be here. There are so many wonderful books coming out at the end of this year, but I'm going to start off by talking about Master of One. This is by Jada Jones and Danny Bennett. They are married co-authors, which I found really interesting, and they are the authors of the Volstovic cycle. And the release date for this book, it comes out on November 10th. So our main character of Master of One is named Rags, and he is an experienced thief who at the start of the story gets caught by the Queen's Guard. And in order to spare his life and win his freedom, he is forced to find an ancient Fey relic for an evil sorcerer who is in control. And so as he is going on this adventure, he finds out that the relic is actually a prince, a Fey prince himself, named Shining Talon. And so the two of them sort of have to get together and attempt to stop a world-ending prophecy while they are also falling for each other in the process. So this is a fantasy novel with a super swoony queer romance. And I particularly am someone who reads a lot of contemporary, so it's very exciting to me when I find fantasies that have different representations and different identities being integrated into these magical worlds. I really liked the chemistry between the main couple. I found them to be very compatible. And something else I really liked about this book is the writing style. The characters were really funny, so it's a witty read. It doesn't feel too heavy, which is important for me for fantasy as well. It was like easy to read through, and the authors felt like very experienced from the other fantasy books that they've written in the past. And Master of One is said to be perfect for fans of Six of Crows, for those of you who love a high stakes heist story, and also The Cruel Prince because it has this dark fairy tale atmosphere. And those are two of my favorite fantasies. So Master of One is definitely one you're going to want to put on your list and not miss out on. Oh, actually, and the final thing is that this is just the placeholder cover. This is the gorgeous final cover of Master of One. And yeah, so it comes out on November 10th, and it is definitely one you should put on your to-read list.
Thank you, Emma. I do love a good heist fantasy, and I always wonder if the authors themselves probably haven't thought about pulling off a heist, but like when I read them, I think they'd probably be good at it. So thank you for that. And next up, we're going to have Michelle talk about a book.
Hi, y'all. So I'm going to be here presenting Miss Meteor by Taylor K. Mejia and Anna Marie Moore, and it's releasing September 22nd. The story follows two former best friends who are united again, where they join forces to win the Miss Meteor pageant. This story has pansexual and trans representation and also a lot of like Latinx representation, and the cover is stunning. The story completely melted my heart. It's beautifully written. It's perfect for fans of Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe and Dumpling. And if I have to give it a Taylor Swift song, it would be Shake It Off.
Thanks, Michelle, for even suggesting the song to go with the book. So next up, we have Mika presenting the next book.
Okay, so the next book I'm going to be presenting is Punching the Air by Ibi Zoboi and Youssef Salam. Now, this is about a 16-year-old named Amal who is an art student, and he is basically convicted for a crime that he did not commit. So the story follows him and his family as they collectively try to fight for the truth and fight for what's right. And I also know that this story is told in verse, which I think alone is extremely powerful. I love when stories are told in verse. And I definitely feel connected to it because I am also an art student. I went to high school for performing arts, and I feel very, very, very passionate about my art in the same way that Amal does. And Ibi Zoboi is Haitian American and Youssef is a Black Muslim. And in America, those two groups are definitely unprotected. And I think it's important to educate yourself and read stories such as Punching the Air, and for people like me, who is also Haitian American, to be able to connect to them. And this comes out September 20th as well.
Thank you, Mika. Very, very excited for that one. And for everyone watching, as a reminder, hashtag sweepstakes entry in the comments and talk about the books that you're most excited to read. And you'll be entered to win a copy of all the books that we're talking through today. And now passing it over to Emma.
Welcome back, folks. So the next book that I'm going to be talking about is The Left-Handed Booksellers of London by Garth Nix. Garth Nix is a very highly acclaimed fantasy author. He is most well known for his Old Kingdom series. The first book in that is Sabriel. And so this new book comes out on September 22nd of this year. So the left-handed booksellers of London is it takes place in an alternate London set in 1983. And in this world, this like new type of London, there are left-handed booksellers who are kind of like the fighters and the protectors. And the right-handed booksellers are more of the intellectuals, but they do all sell books. And so they are all part of this magical old world that is kind of seeping into the mortal world. So at the start of the story, one of our main characters is named Susan, and she is looking for her estranged father, whom she's never met. Her only lead is a crime boss who is like turned to dust by another character who is named Merlin, and he is a left-handed bookseller. So Merlin and his sister are also kind of on this hunt, not for their parents, but the old world entity that is responsible for the murder of their mother. So it is a dynamic cast of characters who are all really funny and well developed. And it is a fast-paced standalone fantasy. I feel like standalone fantasies are not something we come across frequently. So for those of you who like fantasy and all of the elements of it, but maybe not like don't want to get invested in a 6-book series, I think this one would be a really good one for you. I also know that this book does talk a little bit about gender, as there's a character in it who is gender fluid and really likes to express himself through his clothing. And I have seen it frequently compared to The Librarians. I have not personally seen it, but that's what a lot of early reviewers have been talking about, to be really similar in like the atmosphere and the story. So if you are someone who is a fan of it, I think this is a cool one. But I feel like as readers, we oftentimes, like whenever there is a book that has like read or library or writer or book in the title, we like automatically have this like companionship with it. So it's a really interesting one, and one by a very well-versed fantasy author that I think you guys should definitely check out.
Thanks so much, Emma. Okay, so next up we have Alexandra again presenting the next book.
The next book I'm going to be sharing is Charming as a Verb by Ben Philippe. This is a YA contemporary rom-com set in New York, and the story follows Henry, who is a charming high school senior who desperately wants to get into Columbia, and Corinne, who is his intense classmate and neighbor. There's some blackmailing and dogs and a lot of cute feelings, and this is definitely like one of my new favorite books. It's so good. I really loved how there are 2 Black leads and a Chinese side character. So there's a lot of diverse rep and STEM rep, and there's also own voices because the author is Haitian and the main character is Haitian American. I also really like how this is a really realistic high school senior setting, because I feel like a lot of contemporaries and YAs, they're like partying or doing other things, but there's like a lot of studying in this, and there's just stress over college applications, and I'm like, wow, this is super realistic and also very relatable and fun. I'd highly recommend it if you really liked Becky Albertalli's Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, because there's like some blackmailing, but not really. And then also the 3rd book in Jenny Han's To All the Boys I Loved Before series, because the 3rd book has like a lot of senior college app stress, and it's really fun. And this comes out on September 8th.
Thanks so much, Alex. I always love a good New York book because I get to identify things as someone who's in New York and be like, oh yeah, I know what they're talking about. And I do love dogs as well, and the dog on the cover is really cute. So now over to Michelle.
Hi again. So the second book I'm presenting is Nobody Knows But You by Mika and Rose Ritchie. It has a very intriguing cover, and the story is equally as intriguing. It's a captivating murder at summer camp, told in a mix of formats like interview, letters, article, text, and the writing style is truly something that keeps you guessing till the very end, and it kept me at the edge of my seat. It is perfect for fans of Suck You Girls and We Were Liars. And again, the Taylor Swift song that I chose for that one is Epiphany from the new Folklore album.
Okay, someone's been listening to a lot of Taylor Swift lately. And also, thank you for always having like the comps on hand. You have a lot of books, I'm guessing. Okay, so the next person to present is Alexandra again. Alexandra, I think you're muted.
There you go. Okay, the last book that I'm going to be talking about is The Love Curse of Melody McIntyre. This is a queer YA rom-com. I am such a sucker for rom-coms, and this is so great. The story follows Melody McIntyre, who's the stage manager who has like everything under control, super organized, except for her love life. So she swears off romance until the end of the school's production of Les Mis, but obviously that doesn't go as planned, as nothing goes as planned, because of the lead actress, Odile. My favorite aspect of this book is definitely the writing style. It's hilarious with its dialogue, and there's like a lot of different diagrams because they're in theater, so then you get to see like scripts and then like class schedules and just like other fun things. So even though it looks big, it's like not that hard to get through. And I also love how it's also own voices, LGBTQIA plus rep, and is a love story that makes you feel all sorts of soft and happy on the inside. I'd recommend it to those who liked Becky Albertalli's The Upside of Unrequited because of unrequited love and also queer romance. And it comes out on December 1st.
Thanks so much, Alex. As a reminder to everybody, hashtag sweepstakes entry in the comments and talk about the books that you're most excited to read. And thank you all so much for presenting the books. We have one more presenter who you have not seen yet to present a final book for us. It's a surprise, but you have to wait until they pop on screen. I think we're getting there. But yeah, I love a good ARC party. It's like a party, but with books, you know? Oh my God, Shelby,
Hey, what's up? How are you?
How are you?
I'm great. I'm fantastic.
I'm doing good too, because I just got a copy of the book that it looks like you're holding to present today.
I am. I have it right here. Look.
Oh my God. I have every possible edition with me right now. I'm not a fan.
I didn't know which one I would need either. So
oh my God, twins. Okay. So hi, thank you so much for joining us to talk about a book that you have coming out this fall. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Thank you so much for having me, first of all. Yes, I have a book coming out this fall called Blood and Honey. It is the sequel to Serpent and Dove. It comes out September 1st, and it is the continuation of Lou and Reed's story. It takes place directly after the events of Serpent and Dove, so I don't know how spoilery I can be.
Let's not be too spoilery, but we can pick up with where the characters are, because that's not really a spoiler.
Okay, so basically we start this book out realizing that we have to do something about Morgan, who is the villain in the first book. They are trying to decide if they can even do anything against Morgan, and if so, what do they need to do? And they decide to go try to convince allies to join them against Morgan, magical allies. That are in the kingdom of Belterra, like werewolves are in here. That's the predominant one. We also get to go see the Dames Rouges at their blood camp. So we meet Coco's aunt, who was mentioned at the very, very end of Serpent and Dove. But more than that, this book is pretty emotional. Would you agree, Michael?
I won't talk about it. I'm still not over it.
In terms of Lou and Reed, because Serpent and Dove, you know, is a story of them falling in love, and Blood and Honey is a story of them trying to keep that love and to figure out how to make it work, because they are two very different characters, polar opposites. They come from different worldviews. They've had different childhoods. They have different beliefs. So it's them trying to reconcile those differences with their love, and it can get a little bit messy. It does get a little bit messy. I'll just warn you now.
So just a couple questions. What was it like writing the sequel to this, writing Serpent and Dove, which was the first book where you were sort of getting to know the world, and now that like we know it, what was that like to continue?
This book was a lot harder to write than Serpent and Dove. I think that that's a pretty common theme. It's a little bit bigger than Serpent and Dove too, you can see.
Let me show them while you speak, yeah. Oh
Just
no.
a little bit. Yeah, it's bigger. It's bigger by a few thousand words. So this book was a lot harder to write. I wrote Serpent and Dove. I was not agented. It was just kind of, I was in my own little bubble, my own little vacuum, and I was just writing it for me, you know? Blood and Honey was a little bit different because it was the first book I've ever written under contract with like a deadline. And I foolishly made the mistake. I did not finish this book before Serpent and Dove published. I was writing it after Serpent and Dove published. So there were a lot more voices in my head, and there was a lot more pressure, I think. But I did it. It was hard, but it didn't kill me. I would say that this book made me a better writer than writing Serpent and Dove did. I really had to grow and figure it out, and like do the thing. So
I mean, you did it. You did it. It is, I'm not going to spoil it, but I loved it. Felt lots of emotions. I spent hours taking pictures of this in case you can't tell how beautiful it is, everybody.
The snake is kind of like iridescent, right? Because it's black. Yeah. When you like shine it in the light.
Let me just expose my ring light, all right? The whole thing is so iridescent. Is this just 3 minutes of showing you the cover? So follow-up question. What are you most excited for readers to, and you spoke to a little bit before, but what are you most excited for readers to experience from this book?
My favorite part for them to read is going to be the werewolves, for sure. I had so much fun writing those scenes. And I didn't expect to have that much fun, but I did. A lot of fun. So the werewolves were my favorite part to write, and I'm most excited about people reading the werewolves. But I'm very interested to hear reactions about the ending. Here's one reaction. Thank you, Michael.
I'll say I'm also very excited for readers to read about the circus troupe.
Yes.
It's very mysterious, and that's something introduced here. And yes, someone asked in the comments when it's out. Blood and Honey is out September 1st, and Serpent and Dove is out now in paperback as well.
Yeah.
So, lots of exciting things to come. And this is one of the books that you guys can all win. If you hashtag sweepstakes entry in the comments below, you can get your copy of Blood and Honey, and you don't want to miss this one. I promise you guys. But thank you so much for joining us, Shelby.
Thank you for having me, Michael.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be holding this book still.
I'm pretty extated about it too. I haven't taken enough pictures yet. I'm gonna have to have another photo.
I'll send you my camera roll after this and show you all the pictures that I've taken of this book. My roommate had to spend an hour yesterday taking photos of me holding it. So.
But the picture was great. It was magical.
Oh,
yes, I just saw it before I logged on, actually.
oh shut.
The gold sparkle.
My roommate's laughing in the background. Okay. Well, I guess, Lindsay, could we bring everyone, I just named someone, could we bring everyone back on screen to say thank you? We can get everyone on at once. Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for helping us party ARC style. I had a lot of fun. I hope you all had fun watching. Don't forget, hashtag sweepstakes entry and talk about what you're most excited to read, and you can win a stack of, let's all show the books we have, if we have them, a stack of all these lovely books that we talked about today. Okay. So that is it for us. Have a happy rest of your Friday, everybody. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Have a good weekend. Yeah. That's how
Thank you guys for joining.